Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel English Fluency Lab, where I help you improve your English language skills. Friends, in a previous video I had talked about the 6 qualities of modal verbs. If you have not seen that video, I will leave a link in the description below. In this video I'm going to talk about the various modal verbs and how you can use them in different situations. But before I get started, I wanted to let you know that I have not covered the modal verbs will and shall in this video because I have already made a detailed video on that. I will leave a link in the description below. So let's get started right away. The first two modal verbs which I want to cover is can and cannot. And the first scenario in which it can be used is the present ability, to express present ability. Let's look at these examples. Mr. Rohan can walk for 10 kilometers. She cannot climb the stairs. Now this is talking about your ability in the present. Both these two, Mr. Rohan can walk for 10 kilometers right now as we speak, and she cannot climb the stairs right now as we speak. So this is the ability in the present. Another example, Mr. Sharma can speak German, Lata cannot understand Marathi. Right? So that is the present ability. That is the first situation in which you can use can and cannot. The second situation is permission. Right? Can I use this pen? Can we sit here? Okay, so these two are permission questions, right, where you're using can. And the third situation where you can use can is request. Can you lend me your pen for a while? Can you give this book to my sister? So you see these three situations. It can be used for present ability, it can be used for permission, and it can be used for request. The most common one in our daily life is of course the present ability. Right, but you also need to remember it can be used for permission and it can be used for request. So that is can and cannot. Let's now move on to could and could not. And the first thing which you need to remember is that could and could not expresses past ability, and it is the past form of can and cannot, which I just covered. Yes, this is the most common use of could and could not. It expresses past ability. It is the past form of can and cannot. Now let us take the same two examples which I just covered in can and cannot. Mr. Rohan could walk for 10 kilometers. That means he could do it in the past, but he cannot do it now. She could not climb the stairs, but now she can. In the past she could not climb the stairs, but now she can do it. Maybe she's taken some medical treatment, maybe she's taken some medicines, and in the present she can do it, but she could not do it in the past. Another example, she could work long hours when she was young. Again, expressing past ability. She could not speak English. In the past she could not speak English, but maybe she can speak English now. So this is the most common use of could and could not. It expresses past ability. Second use, future possibility. You could give an ad in Quicker or OLX to sell your furniture. Let us say that one of your friends is moving from Bombay to Bangalore, and he asks you that, what do I do with my old furniture? You could say you could give an ad in Quicker or OLX to sell your furniture. So you're talking of a future possibility. You could try using Google Ads to increase your sales. You're giving a suggestion to increase sales. So this is where you could use could to express future possibility. Permission. Could I smoke in this room? Could I speak to my brother? So permission is also something which could and could not can be used for. And the last one which can be used, where you can use could, is request. Could you please open the window? It's hot in here. Could you decrease the volume of the TV please? I am studying. Now you might ask the question that you said permission and request can be used in can, and you are now saying that permission and request can be used in could also. What is the difference? Well, frankly friends, there is no difference. The only difference is that could sounds a little more polite, but it can be used. Can and could can be used in both the situations. All right. So we've covered can, we've covered could. Now let us move on to may. First situation, permission. May I open the window? May I use your phone? Right? Now permission is there in could also, permission is there in can also. Again, you might ask the question, what is the difference? Well, I would say that could and may are a little more polite than can. Right? I would put could and may in the same category. Possibility. Rohit may pass the exam. Mrs. Monica may come tomorrow. Okay, so you are expressing a possibility that this particular thing might happen. Wish, may God bless you, may God help you, right? You've heard this before. Okay, so the word may can be used for wish also. It can be used for permission, it can be used for possibility, it can be used for wish, right? Let us move on to the next modal verb, which is might. First possibility is a remote possibility. right? It might rain today. The opinion polls say that BJP might win with a comfortable majority. Now friends, if I were to use a Hindi word to explain this, might means shayad, right? कि ऐसा हो सकता है, right? It might rain today means that there is a slight possibility that it could rain today. Second situation, you can use it for a gentle approach. You might have misplaced it. Let us say some of your friend is looking for his bike keys or something and he cannot find it anywhere. And you could just say that, looks like you might have misplaced it. You might have told me earlier about it, but I don't remember. Again, an example of gentle approach, right? So that is a second situation. Now let's move on to would or would not. Now friends, this is a modal verb which can be used in almost about 4 or 5 situations and can be very confusing to some English language learners. So please pay attention as I walk you through every situation. The first and the most common is unreal or imaginary situation. The most common use of would is unreal or imaginary situation. If I were the CEO of my company, I would make a lot of changes. That means there's a condition to it. If I were the CEO, he's not the CEO right now. If I were the CEO, I would make a lot of changes. An imaginary situation. If people donated more, there would not be so much of poverty in India. An imaginary situation. So you see, that is the first use. It is used in an unreal or imaginary situation. Second one, would or would not can be used in polite offers. In fact, not would not, only would. Would you like anything to drink? Would you like to see some pictures from my vacation? Right? If anybody comes to your house, don't you offer him tea or coffee? Would you like anything to drink? A common statement which we use in our daily life. So that's polite offers. Past habit, right? Would can be used for past habit. Mr. Harshal would sit there and think about his childhood days. Okay, so this is something he used to do in the past. Okay, so this is would. Mrs. Nisha would come home and read the newspaper daily. Again, something which she used to do in the past, right? So unreal or imaginary situation, polite offers, past habit. Let's continue. Wish. Would can also be used for wish. Mr. Devesh would like to know your opinion about it. Okay, so it's a wish expression. Okay, I would like to discuss this. I would like to discuss this after the meeting. Again, a wish, right? So that's, and the last one where you can use would is preference, right? I would rather die than marry her, right? So you are expressing a preference one over the other. Mr. Kamlesh would rather go out than stay at home. Again, a preference one over the other, right? So this is one modal verb which can be used in 5 situations, right? Hope it's clear. Let's move on to the last one, which is should or should not. The most common one, the most common situation where should is used is advice. You should go to a doctor, right? She should not spend so much of time on the computer. It could harm your eyesight, right? Okay, so this is another sentence where you can use should. Okay, you can use it for advice. Number 2, it can be used for obligation. You should always help senior citizens. Citizens should not break traffic rules, so it can be used for obligation. Possibility. His flight should have arrived by now, right? He should be in the office by now, right? It can be used to express probability. Sorry, not possibility, probability, right? So these are the 3 situations where you can use should. It can be used for advice, it can be used for obligation, and it can be used for probability. Now friends, I'm not covering must separately because must and should are more or less the same. If you see this sentence, you can use must also. You should go to a doctor, you must go to a doctor. Now what is the difference? The difference is the intensity. When you say you must go to a doctor, that means you are kind of expressing your intensity is more that you have no choice, you have to go. You should go to a doctor, well, it could be 50-50, right? So I'm not covering must separately because should or must, I put them in the same category. You could use must out here, you must go to a doctor, she must not spend so much time on the computer, right? So I'm not covering must separately because it's more or less is the same situation where you use must also. So friends, I hope you found value in this video. In the next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quiz on about 15 questions on all the modal verbs. So please stay tuned and please like my video if you feel that you have learned something new. Please subscribe to my channel and please do press the bell because I do keep coming up with videos to help you improve your English language skills. Thank you so much and I will see you in the next one.